Broadcasting from the business capital of the world, this is the Podcast Business News Network.
Welcome back, everybody. I've talked many times about this thing called energy healing. I believe in it. I've experienced it. I experienced her a couple of days ago in energy healing. She's an international best-selling author, speaker, heart-based energy intuitive. She is a Reiki master. She offers so much in helping us heal. And we're going to talk about all of that today, especially my experience in her working on me. Becki Koon is here. Hi. How are you?
I'm doing great. How are you, Steve?
Good.
How are you after our session, right?
Yeah. So it was, I don't even know how to describe it. Because it was, I guess, sort of Reiki, sort of intuitive. Help me out here.
It was a combination of a whole lot of things. So it's like, kind of the baseline energy work is Reiki healing. There's energies from higher source coming in and moving through me and you, and we're working with those, right? And we're moving energy. So that's kind of the baseline. But we also looked at your chakra energy system. We intuitively, there was intuition, there were things coming to me that were shared. We were stepping into you working with energy. It was just this kind of mixed bag of healing and all of it, and some of it's coaching, some of it's walking through what we're experiencing. It was very interactive, right?
Mm-hmm.
It was very interactive.
It wasn't like I had to give up a lot of info, details, or anything like that. And I'm usually open with everything. What did you find? And we don't have to go into the deeper details, but just overall. And was I really mucked up? What did you discover?
No, you were not mucked up as much as you think you are.
Okay.
I think we tend to judge ourselves so harshly, right? As people, we're usually our biggest critic. And so just tapping in, I think what was showing up, there was a couple of energy centers that were, a little bit off. And so we worked at just adjusting those, helping the energy move through, helping the body, because the body wants to go into a state of wellness. The energy field wants to be in a state of balance. So the body and the energy field will balance itself out if you see it, if you recognize it. So you had a couple of centers that we were, kind of working on balancing out. And usually with that comes something behind it. Like there's either an event or a situation or something behind it. So, we worked on a couple of those things, and it was.
So I want to tell you how I'm feeling today. And this is, a couple of days after we had the session. I feel like I have more clarity. Like maybe one layer of fog has been lifted from different situations. Kind of tired, like just kind of chill. I don't know if that's normal.
Yeah.
I feel different.
Okay.
And I can't put my finger on it.
Yeah, that's okay.
And does that make sense?
Okay. Yeah, it totally makes sense. Well, when you're working in that other realm of energy healing, because not only were we doing physical, like we were, there's physical things happening in the body. So it's why it's so great for pain. People dealing with chronic pain, it just kind of relaxes the body. You get into the body, and the body's able to then go, okay, you see me, you recognize me. Thank you. So we did a little bit of that with you, right? So it's natural for the body to just kind of, okay, I'm chill, I'm relaxed. In fact, sometimes I have people after a session, I have them hang out a little while at my center, because it's like, it can make you a little bit, I don't want to say woozy, but you're not, you just have to kind of come to an awareness again, right? You're back in reality.
Yeah. Yep. Back to center. I call it
back
that.
To center, right.
Center. Yeah.
Right. So, and when you're doing energy work, you're moving a lot. You're moving a lot. I mean, think about it. It's like electricity. You know, you're literally moving energy, and it's way more than what you realize. Like when we're doing that kind of work, people are like, wow, what did we do? Because I'm really feeling it. And you can feel it for days after. And hopefully, like what happened with you, people will get clarity on something, or people will have some pain relief, or people will experience, just a balancing of themselves, even if they can't explain it.
I can't explain it. I really can't. I don't know. It's just a different feeling, not a bad feeling. I guess it's almost like the slate has been cleared.
Mhm.
You know, maybe a fresh start. So I'm starting, from from here to more of a chill thing, and then now we're, kind of building upon that moving forward.
Right.
Um, but definitely unique. I mean, and the things that you were saying that I didn't tell you in advance, that you were
No.
pulling out there, was pretty amazing too.
Well,
Yeah,
it's beautiful because there's no expectation on my part going into a session with someone, none, because every session is so different. Even with people that I work with regularly, each session is so unique. So there's no judgment, there's no expectation. It's just what shows up in that moment for the person and for the situation when we're working
Mm.
together in tandem. And it's a beautiful thing because what I get to do, Steve, what I'm doing is I'm just helping you tap into your own wisdom. So I don't have to know all the details. That's not my role. I'm not the psychic who gets lots of information that way. My role is to just spark you into awareness of yourself, into awareness of your own body, into awareness of your own intuition, your own unique sacred aspect, which was so much fun because I get to see that and help people remember that within themselves.
Yeah. And it wasn't like it was painful, like in some other modalities. There's nothing wrong with that.
Right,
But
right. It's all served the purpose.
we didn't have to bring up, situations, scenarios, stuff stuck in your subconscious from when you were a child. And, that's been there, done that too in terms of healing.
Sure,
And we all
sure.
have them. We all have them.
Yeah.
But it wasn't like that. It was basically I just sat there and we're on two separate coasts, essentially.
Right, right.
So different time zones and everything, but through a Zoom, the energy was transferred
Yeah, it's amazing,
back
isn't
and
it?
forth. It really is. Yeah.
Well, it's like, how do we get the video signal, right? How are we seeing each other? Right. It
There's a
goes
point.
through it goes through the air, right? We don't see it. It's not tangible. Radio, same thing. The waves are going through the air. We don't see those, but we hear it, we see it. It's the same principle. Steve.
I silly me didn't think of it that way, but that's energy. In order
Yeah,
to get this signal to each of us, there's energy. People watching it, there's energy.
yeah,
There's energy coming from our energy that's put into it. And as I've learned even recently, even a photograph, picture
yeah,
online, or a hard copy of a photo, there's an energy imprint in there, even if it's your face and
yeah,
a picture of you.
yeah.
There is energy coming off of that.
Well, if you ask people to look at a piece of art, right? You go to a museum, for example, and you're standing in front of this beautiful piece of art. Not only are you visually experiencing it, but you feel it. Most people feel something. And it's because that piece has been infused with that artist's intention and creation and life force as that piece was being created. So you feel it. It's part of this beautiful, beautiful expansion of awareness that we get to see.
And I use that analogy all the time because why do certain pieces of art or artists resonate and others may not? Why does a certain song become popular?
Yeah.
there's an energy intent that went into it.
Yeah.
And you just can't put your finger on it. It's like, I don't know why I like it. That's okay. Yeah, I like listening to that. Um,
It's the same
it's
thing with food. If if somebody's preparing food, okay, and you go to a restaurant and the chef loves what he does, and he creates, and the people working there, they like their job, they're creating, that food is infused with that kind of energy. Whereas if you go somewhere and people are just, they're grumpy and they're not happy and they're just doing their job, it's just not the same. You literally are ingesting the energies behind the preparation and the food that you're eating.
Well, isn't that the same when somebody says, the old grandmother says, I made it with love,
Exactly.
right?
Grandma knew what she was talking about.
Yeah, because she put love into it, and that's
Yeah.
why, her sauce tastes so fantastic. Yeah, we don't think of this stuff. We don't,
We
it
don't.
doesn't even cross our paths in our mind that there's energy in all this stuff. And just stands reason that you'd be able to heal somebody by tapping into their energy with their permission. It's not
Yeah,
like, I want to
absolutely.
make that clear. It's like, why
Yeah.
isn't Becki walking around going to people in
Right.
a grocery store?
No, it's
Right?
very clear with intention. Yeah.
Hmm. How do you know what to do for somebody? Like for me, it was a mixed bag of modality, but how do
Yes.
you know which ones to pick?
Now that's even more mysterious. That's intuition. I'm using my own intuition that, I continue to hone and develop as I experience my work, as I experience moving in. But I think I came in that way, Steve. I think I came in kind of with this heightened sense of intuition when it come to people, me being able to tap in. I know my heart center is very, very open and connected. And so I feel people very easily. So that's the mystery that I can't explain to people, how it is that I do a session. Like, I just follow what I'm guided to do. I follow what comes to me here, what I see, because I actually kind of will get vision, but I'll also sometimes hear something or I will feel something.
Wow.
So it's, again, I'm following those subtle in like clues. It's like I'm tapping in and I'm allowing myself to follow the subtle information that's coming. And I've learned to trust it. I've learned to trust it. Most people don't trust it. We all get it, Steve. We all get those intuitive hits. We all feel energy. We all feel those things, but we don't trust it typically. Like, pass it off. Oh,
Well,
yeah.
is it the same as the gut feeling? So when you work with somebody intuitively, you get a gut feeling,
Mhm.
but you've gotten to the point where you can trust whatever you're feeling.
Yeah.
Uh,
Yeah.
but same thing when we get a gut feeling about a situation. What do I do? Which way do I go? Choice
Mhm.
A, choice B. A lot of times we don't listen to what's coming from within.
Right.
Uh, how can we better trust our intuition?
Oh, that's like the question of the century. Um,
Yeah.
you know, it is. It's one of those things where you have to just have faith. And for me, I've always had a lot of faith in something greater than myself. Jesus. I'm very, very connected to God and Jesus, and those ascended masters, beings that have been here to show us who we really are. Right? That they're showing us what we have, the capacity that we have as these divine beings. So I'm very connected to spirit. And being very connected to spirit helps me have faith and trust that when I'm getting these hits, that it's not just my mind playing tricks,
Hmm.
that I'm literally getting information or I'm being assisted and guided by a wisdom greater than myself.
Would you say that higher source is the validation for what you're getting? So it's almost like I'm getting a gut feeling, you're getting a gut feeling, and then you feel it validated from somewhere else. And it's like, yeah, that's right.
Mhm. Mhm.
Hmm.
And it helps because I am in the field that I'm in. When I get those intuitive hits and I say, oh gosh, there's something here. Let's explore that. And I talk to the person on the, that I'm working with. It's validated like time and time again. We explore something that comes. And I don't have all the information. I just feel something. I just know there's something there. Or, I might get a little bit of a hit on, oh, I think it's related to this. But more often than not, like I said, it's validated by the person. So trust. I've learned to trust, and I've learned to trust. So it's the very subtle energy information that comes to you. And like, for example, and this is something we all do, and I think everybody can relate to this. You're thinking of somebody, all of a sudden you're just thinking of somebody, and then the phone rings and it's that person. Or you're thinking of someone and a song comes on the radio that's related to that person, that you had experience with that person with that song, right? Those things happen to us all the time. It's just a matter of tuning into the awareness that that's happening.
I know this is kind of sounds crazy, but I will be driving in my car and I'll ask for a sign from something and I'll say, make it in the music. And I'll just scan, like could be satellite radio. And I just go like,
okay.
I'm not even stopping.
Yeah.
Like a roulette wheel.
Yeah. Okay.
And then it'll stop on a song. And I would say about 50% of the time, the title of the song or something connected to the song is related to what I'm talking about in my mind, what I'm thinking of. I know it sounds ridiculous and I try to test it. Maybe do it again, and I don't overdo it, but when I'm looking for an answer, direction, I'll look for it in a sign. And it's kind of freaky how it happens. Weird.
It's weird, but it's amazing and magical. And
yeah.
when you start just trusting that and recognizing that's part of the beauty of this life experience, it becomes magical, Steve. You start noticing the synchronicities that happen around us all the time. You just kind of start paying attention and having awareness about it. And the more that you do that, the more that you pay attention to the synchronicities in your life, the little occurrences where your intuition kicks in and you're like, oh, wow, how did I know that? Or how did I, that's exactly what I needed to hear.
I just wish it would happen more often. I wish me personally, have mastered it. However, even during our session, I did say a number of times, I know the answer, and I feel we all do.
Yeah.
I've got things that are floating out there that I need the answer to, but I already know the answer sometimes. And I know it's coming from here.
Yeah, it is.
Or
that part of us.
Or I've known the answer for a while, but now in the path, the journey, it's getting closer to that being the answer. And one particular thing I want to just like, no, I don't want that to be the answer. Because it's not the answer I want. But I know it's the answer. There's not even a doubt. Because it's just like beep, beep, staring me in the face. That's what it is. You know what it is. But that's the challenges in life. You have to make a decision.
It's part of it. It's part of it. We live in this experience that we don't just experience the light and the roses all the time and the happiness. That's just not all the time. Now, great if you do. Great if you're one of those people that just live up in that high frequency a lot. I tend to live up there fairly regularly, but we also experience life. We also experience challenge and change and those things that happen in this beautiful, crazy world that we live in. We're not immune to it. We're not immune to it. It's just learning how to tap in a little more and a little more and a little more to the magic that we can experience.
If you were to look back, let's say 10 years ago.
Okay.
And now, In terms of your tuition, would you say, oh yeah, it's definitely more tuned in now?
Oh yeah, no doubt.
Hmm.
No doubt. Again, I think I've always had an awareness and an attunement. There's certain people that are super sensitive on the planet and they're empathic. They've got that ability to tap into other people and other awarenesses fairly easily.
Hmm.
In the last, and I would say even since Jack's passed, my husband who died 4 years ago, over 4 years, just over 4 years, and I had this connection with him that's happened. I have this, I can't explain it. It's there, it's energetic, it's this connection of dimensions, okay? Dimensional fields. Wherever it is he is. It's that experience. It really opened up. And I learned to trust that. I learned to step into that. I get to do this work with other people. So yes, has it strengthened in me? Yep. Yep. We all have it. We all can do it. We can all learn how to keep walking towards those intuitive hits, those things and validations and trusting and allowing. Right? We have to allow it first too. We have to be open and allowing. If you're doubting Thomas, it's okay, but you're probably not going to go to the places that some of us go to.
Or it might take you longer to get there until you figure it out, like me.
That's right. It may take you longer. It's okay.
And I want to, before
Okay.
we run out of time, I do want to
Okay.
share how the universe works. So you and I paired together for
Mhm.
podcasts.
Yes.
I don't know who you are. I just met you on a screen,
Yeah.
and we've done, handful of podcasts so far.
Yeah.
Turns out that guy you're involved with
Mhm.
lived, I'm sorry. Well, you're on the other coast, but
Right.
he
Yeah.
used to
Yes.
live by me,
Uh-huh.
so close that like literally a mile and a half away,
Yeah.
and had a business. You mentioned his business. I'm like, yeah, I know that business. He since sold it. I pass it almost every day. Like, what are the chances of all of that? And
Yeah.
then, yeah, I think there's something there, and I haven't figured it out.
Yeah.
Your husband's name, Jack.
Yeah.
That was my dad's name. And
Yep.
not everybody goes by the name Jack. It's,
No.
usually John.
Hmm.
And it was Jack.
Yeah.
He wasn't called John. And I'll bet you there's something there. Something,
Yeah.
if we peeled back some layers,
Hmm.
something would come up and be like, oh yeah, he whatever.
Yeah.
But that's the universe. Here's our exchange of energy. And then when you look a little bit deeper, and I mean that for everybody and everything,
Yeah.
there's more clues of
Yes.
stuff. Like
We're
we're all
all so
connected.
connected. We're all so connected.
So I want to say bizarre, but not. Coincidental, but not. There's a
Yeah.
reason. I don't know what that reason
Yeah.
is, but it's there. It's crazy.
Absolutely.
Hmm.
Absolutely. And when you see it from that perspective, when you begin to recognize, you know what, it is this mystery, this magic, these connections that we have that are you can't explain them, right? They're. I mean, I think you and I were both going, wow, wow, wow.
Yeah. Yeah. And again, we're just two random people,
Yeah,
or
yeah,
not, or not. So, and that
we're
and
not.
that could apply to everybody, the clerk behind the counter at Starbucks.
Yeah,
That could
yes,
be, who knows. Uh,
yes.
if somebody wants to work with you, talk about energy, all of that, how do they connect with you, Becki?
They come to my website, BeckiKoon.com, BECKIKOON.com.
Yeah. Thank you so much for
Oh,
today, the session.
yeah.
Um, yeah, I'm waiting to see what else I'm going to feel moving forward.
Keep me posted.
Yeah, definitely. It's almost like you're a doctor. Yeah, let me know I'll let you know what my symptoms are moving forward. Um,
Yeah.
yeah, but super cool the whole process, and thanks again.
It was an honor. It was an honor.
It was a joy being connected with you and watching you work and feeling the benefits and clarity. So and
Great.
I feel there's going to be more to come in another couple of days.
Yeah.
I think as the energy dust settles, if you will.
Yeah. Yes.
Cool. All right, we'll talk soon. Thanks again.
Okay. Good to see you.
You too. We'll be right back.
Are you looking for even more of the podcasts and hosts that you love? The Podcast Business News Network is proud to announce that you now have even more ways to listen live. Check out the MyTuner Radio, online radio box, and Simple Radio apps on iOS and Android, or find us online. Search for Business News Network on mytuner-radio.com, or search Podcast Business News Network on streama.com and onlineradiobox.com/US. Take your podcast on the go and don't miss a minute of the action.
Broadcasting from the business capital of the world, this is the Podcast Business News Network.
For nearly 2,000 severely injured veterans, everyday life has become filled with barriers.
Day-to-day simple tasks can become pretty daunting.
I have to carry my chair up 2 flights of steps or have somebody do it for me.
What scares me the most is just the falling.
When I'm struggling with my house, I think, to have that one great barrier just knocked down, it's crucial.
Home for Our Troops is a wonderful nonprofit that builds a
mortgage-free, fully adaptive, handicap-accessible house. And there's no catch.
It'll be our very first home that we've ever owned.
This is a game changer.
This is where your life begins again.
We need you to join us in completing this important mission. Please visit hfotusa.org and help build homes and rebuild lives.
Because of you, everything's going to be okay.